When Rick and Morty aren't playing around, they're not playing around. We may end up going through some awful lows before reaching the incredible highs. Oh god. But the season 5 finale has delivered in every way imaginable. Spoilers will be discussed in this video, so consider yourself warned. Anyway, the new Rick and Morty finale was a double-length story. First, we explored what would happen if our heroes split up from each other and went on their own adventures. It didn't really end up working out, but it was still necessary character development that the show had been building up to for a while. Rick was right. They do have an abusive kind of relationship here, which means the formula had to be shaken up for genuine progress to be made. While the first half played out like a typical storyline, everything went to a whole other level in the second. Where do I even begin? We finally learned Rick's full backstory in the span of a few minutes. We got the truth behind Evil Morty, along with some questions to come from that. Above all else, both of these characters have been through hell and back throughout the finale. They each have their own flaws, and the episode asks these questions. Should Morty still accept Rick? And should Rick allow himself to stay with Morty? We don't necessarily get a true answer, but that's something to develop in the coming seasons. Season 5's finale, Rickmurai Jack, sort of changes everything in the show, meaning we've reached a point where there's no turning back. I guess to start off, we may as well talk about Rick's tragic backstory. Turns out that one part from season 3 is mostly legit. A version of Rick ended up killing his family, so he travels across the multiverse in search of desperate revenge. Over the course of his hunt, everyone comes after him. He's alone, feeling lost in a world of despair. At one point, he loses all hope of catching the original killer that started this mess. He begins to lose himself, not caring about anything. The only peace he can find is by traveling to a world where Beth is alive so he can spend more time with her. Still, the reality is that the original daughter and wife he had are gone forever. There are still some questions about all of this, don't get me wrong, but now we know the general timing of events in Rick's past. Just like that, our perspective on him is much different than it was before. His attitude and everything he's done, it all makes more sense now.
Yes, now everyone can shut up about it.
Wow, Rick. I feel a lot better having seen all that. Of course that's the case. In their minds, they're the underdog.
But aside from the backstory revelation is all the Evil Morty stuff. Acting as the key figure in the show's continuity, Evil Morty has always been a mysterious figure. He was a puppet master, a president, and appearing only when the time was right. Fans constantly theorized about what his true plans were, and now we know. During behind the scenes for this episode, the crew talked about how significant this revelation was, and that it was much needed payoff.
And I'm leaving it.
We've been delaying the Evil Morty thing for so long, I think, because that changes the show once you do a revelation that big.
And he really needed to get into the nitty-gritty of what his actual plan was. Okay, he's president now. Why did he want to do that? We went back to the original episode he was introduced in season 1 and watched so intensely to make sure that we weren't forgetting about things that were already set up.
So, turns out there's this thing called the Central Finite Curve. It's a part of the multiverse where most of the Ricks are, and where Ricks are the smartest people alive. Evil Morty's goal was to achieve freedom and escape this area of the multiverse so he could break free from the chains that Mortys always have. If it sounds like things are getting complicated, that's because they kind of are. This is the result of several seasons of world building and pieces of lore that have been established. Now that Evil Morty is free from the Central Finite Curve, what will he do next? How will knowing Rick's backstory change our Morty's relationship with him? Who's the other Rick that killed our Rick's family? Season 5 comes to an end with just as many questions as when we started. What began as a rocky batch of episodes eventually resulted in some of the show's best, making Rick and Morty three-dimensional and expanding the multiverse even farther. In a long-running cartoon like this, the way to keep things fresh is by switching up the character dynamics and revealing new ideas about the universe it takes place in, or in this case, multiple universes. I don't know what comes next for Rick and Morty, but I know it's gonna be hype.
But anyway, that's all for this video. Subscribe for more awesome cartoon videos. Give a thumbs up and comment below, let me know what you think. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.